And what? And it does not love us, Enico said with a kind of grim certainty. He did not feel evil, commented Francis. I would have thought an ally of Chernobog must be corrupted and polluted by the blackness. Francis, the enemy of my enemy is not always my friend, even if we have common cause. We should ally, Enico, said Francis firmly, or at least not waste our strength against each other. After all, we face a common enemy. Enico shrugged again. Perhaps, but it is not always that simple or that wise. Well, let us talk to the Grand Metropolitan and tell him what little we know. Vilna. Count Kazimierz Mindog, chief advisor and counselor to Grand Duke Jagiellon of Lithuania, scratched himself. Lice were one of the smaller hazards and discomforts of his position. To be honest, he scarcely noticed them. The Grand Duke tended to make other problems pale into insignificance. If a direct attack on Venice is out of the question now, given our recent defeat there, he said calmly, then why don't we just hamstring them? We can paralyze their trade. The Mediterranean can still be ours. We can still draw the enemy into a war on a second front. The terrible scar on Jagiellon's forehead pulsed. It looked like an ugly purple worm half embedded in his skin, a throbbing worm. The Holy Roman Emperor looks for our hand in everything now, since the disaster in Venice. Charles Frederick would ally openly with the accursed Venetians. Their combined fleets would crush our own, even in the Black Sea. Count Mindog nodded his head. True, but what if our hand was not shown? What if those who at least appear to oppose us took action against Venice and her interests? The Grand Duke's inhuman eyes glowed for just a moment as the idea caught his interest. Then he shook his head. The Emperor will still see our hand in anything. Count Mindog smiled, revealing filed teeth. Of course he will. But he cannot act against his allies. He cannot be seen to be partisan, not in a matter that appears to be a mere squabble between Venice and her commercial rivals, especially when those rivals are parties with whom the Empire has either a treaty or a very uneasy relationship. Jagiellon raised his heavy eyebrows. Ah, Aquitaine, he said. I have hopes of the Nords. My plans move apace there. But it will take a little while before their fleet ravage the north. But Aquitaine, even with Genoa's assistance, cannot bottle up the Venetian fleet. Mindog flashed those filed teeth again. But they could blockade the Pillars of Hercules. And if the Aragonese join them, and perhaps the Barbary pirates too, they will easily prevent the Venetian Atlantic fleet from returning. And let us not forget that you now hold Byzantium's emperor in thrall. Jagiellon shook his head. It is not thraldom yet. Let us just say we know of certain vices which even the Greeks will not tolerate. We wield a certain amount of influence, yes. Enough to send him to attempt to regain some of his lost territory? Asked Mindog shrewdly. After a moment, Jagiellon nodded. Probably. The Golden Horn or Negroponte? Mindog smiled shark-like. Neither, my lord.